Good day to the Shins. Welcome back to Tagum Doctors College. And this is again your learning partner, teacher Anna. So last week, guys, we have learned about the first phase of reading and writing fiction. So you have learned different genres of fiction, which include fable, parable, tale, romantic fiction, realistic fiction, naturalistic fiction, historical novel, psychological novel, science fiction, and non-realistic fiction. So, so these are the genres of fiction that you have learned in the previous week. So in this lesson, guys, you will learn writing journal entry. So your knowledge about the genres of the fiction, guys, is very important in understanding the present lesson. So to find out, guys, if you are really ready to our lesson, try to answer the next assessment, which is the starting point. So you need to enumerate the 10 genres of fiction and you need to write down its relevant content and ideas. Now, let's go to our MALCs, our most essential learning competencies. So, for this lesson, guys, you are going to write journal entries of short story, while the other or the next lesson would be short exercises. Okay, so this most essential learning competencies is divided into two lesson, which is this one for week 6 and then the next week, which is in week 7. Okay, so today we are going to focus on writing journal entries. So at the end of the lesson, guys, you shall be able to write journal entry. Okay, so maybe in your previous year, maybe in grade 10, you already practiced and even start writing or journaling. So now let's try to know what is journaling. So, unsa na ining journaling, ma'am? So when we say journaling, guys, it is a very nice way or a great way to process what we have read and develop your understanding of the text. So kung ano yung nabasa natin when it comes to journaling, in that way we are going to process and develop our understanding of what we have read. Okay, so other than giving what is the title of the short story, what is the plot, the background, who are the characters. So other than that, journaling is like you are giving response, okay, to what you have read. So you are going to clarify, you are going to solidify your reactions, your opinions, and then you need also to organize your thoughts uh, to come up with a very good journal or what we called journaling. Okay? So in that way too, other readers can also know what are the things that they are going to expect from the book or from the passage or from the short story itself. So that's why a lot of authors also give their journal entry or give comments and feedbacks or even use their journaling to give their understanding of a certain book or maybe their thoughts of a certain book. So they are paid so that the readers would have a very good sense of the things that they should expect. So unsa ang ilahang gina-expect sa pagbasa ani nga short story or sa pagbasa ani nga book. So that's why a lot of people are being paid by writing comments or journaling. Now, let's go to the tips on preparing a journal entry. So, unsaon tay ma'am para makabuo or mahimo ming preparado or we are prepared in making a journal entry. So there are 10 steps or there are 10 tips on preparing a journal entry. So first guys, we are going to summarize the reading. So you need to address what the main thesis is for the reading. So unsa gid ang main nga topic sa imuhang ginabasa? Asa ni siya? Is it like about love, about marriage, so or about horror stories, just like that. And then unsa pud ang ginapasabot ani sa author? Or why did the author write this short story? Maybe because the author wants to inform, or he wants to emphasize differentiated experiences, or even human experiences. So that is summarize the reading. So not it is not just limited with the who are the characters, where does it happen. So most likely, it also involves addressing the main topic of the short story, and then uh, talking about what is the reading about and what does the author want to portray, or why did the author write the text. Now for number two, you are going to respond to the reading with your own commentary. So dili ka magcopy-paste sa uban nga mga comments, but you are going to really type down or comment your own words. Okay? So you are really going to type down what are your personal response, or maybe your experience, and then you are going to share the what of what you have read, and then the why or the focus of what you have read. Now let's go to number three. So number three, uh, don't be afraid to make connections between the book and your own life. So always remember, guys, it's better to make a personal journal entry. So imuha yung personal na connection between sa book and your own life. So always remember, there are a lot of short stories and poem and even novels na based on the true to life story, or it's like it's really happening in the real life. So that's why don't be afraid to make connections between the book and your own life. Now, let's go to number four. So in this way too, guys, you are going, or you will be step by step developing your ideas over time. So sa imong pag-journaling, so you have read a fable and then you you put it in your journal entry, parable, a tale. And in that way, guys, practice ang imuhang creative mind, and mo develop ang imuhang ideas over time. So maybe in the first journaling, dili pa kay kahawd, but in you go to the process, or when you are like doing that almost every day or like every week, so in that way, you can now develop ideas over time. Even when you reflect or read it again, diba? Sa imong pagbasa karon nakabalo ka, or you have encountered or experienced this one, but pagbasa nimo usab, mas nasabtan pa nimo siya og lalom. So because the goal of this one, guys, is to give response sa imuhang gibasa, nga dapat semi-private siya. Okay? So it is really your own thoughts and opinions. In that way, you can also develop your ideas about the short story over time. Now let's go to number five. So number five, guys, you are going to organize your response journal. So para ma-prepare ka sa pagsulat og journal entry, guys, or journaling, so you need to organize your response journal. So the very least guy, your journal entries should be dated. So dapat na ay date ang imuhang journal. Dapat na siya headings or titles. Nga kana siya kung imuha siyang balikan og balik dali lang ka makabalo kani siya season or season 1 ni siya kay ano ni siya, it talks about katong pagkamatay sa iyahang parents, just like that. So most likely when you are going to organize your response, so you need to put date, ending headings and titles. Okay, class? Now let's go to number 6. For number 6, guys, you need to consider using clear and descriptive headings in your journal. So dito, guys, always remember dapat klaro. So walay daghang pasikot-sikot no, walay daghang flowering words, dapat klaro o naga-describe ni siya nga headings in your journal. It will help you more easily to find your thoughts. So this way, guys, makatabang ni siya para maano jud nimo mas scrutinize or makita gyud nimo ang imong mga thoughts and insights as you read through your journal at a later date. So kung imo siyang balikan og basa, so you can really find tama di ay nani di ako ang pagsabot ani nga short story, because you are going or you can easily find your thoughts and insights as you read through your journal at a later date. And even kung imo na siyang i-post online or like to give comments to a certain book or a story or a novel, so in that way too you can also give clear and descriptive headings in the readers sa mga mubasa or in the future nga mga readers. So maybe katong mga bago or mga bago nga boomers, so most likely they can have a clear insight of what they are going to expect from the novel or maybe from a book or a short story. Now for number 7, guys, always remember that in journal entry you need to read the text critically. So, meaning guys, dili lang nimo siya basahon ka isa, kundili basahon nimo siya kaduha or maybe katulo, especially if you do have a lot of time. So, always remember that in journal entry, you need to really absorb the general ideas, okay? For even in the first reading, and then imuha to siyang ipang highlight or imuha siyang ipang sulat to mga particular ideas and concepts nga dapat nimo basahon or maybe i-research nimo para mas masabtan nimo to siya. Now, for number 7, for number 8, you need to contextualize the text in terms of its historical, biographical, and cultural significance. So, meaning, guys, you are really going to scrutinize like, is it the history of Japan, the history of the Philippines, the biography of this country, or maybe it talks about the cultural significance of this kind of country. So dapat makontextualize nimo ni siya, guys, because there are a lot of novels and short stories that are based on the different cultures of different countries. And for number 9, you need also to ask questions about the text. Okay? So just like the Romeo and Juliet na novel, like uh, in my journal entry, I wrote there or I argued there like, is love like that? Or like, what would happen if Romeo and Juliet's ending would be as beautiful as the ending of a traditional Filipino film, just like that. So most likely, you can also like you just don't just be passively read the book. Instead, you need to analyze and then have an argument. What if? Or maybe why? Or maybe How come this happened? But in real world, it can't be happen. So just like that. So like you need to write down your disagreement with the author. So next for number 10, we need to be aware of your personal response to the text. So dapat naagi na siya ebidensya nga naagi na siya sa text. So or maybe that is just your personal response to the text. So, what shape your beliefs? So, anong inani imuhang ginatuuhan? Maybe based on evidences or maybe based on your own culture. And then, how might your beliefs be similar to or different from the authors? So, pwede po nimo isulat diri sa imuhang journaling or in your journal entry na parehas mi sa author, like we have similar or I have some similarities to the author because of this and that. And or maybe, I beg to disagree from the author because according to my experiences or according to Republic Act, just like that, or maybe according to uh, some authors, so just like that. So most likely you are going to be aware of your personal response. So is it like branded as just your beliefs or maybe branded as facts or branded that is really happening in the real life? Okay, so you can also talk about your disagreement, similarities and differences from the author. So now I will read to you an example of a journal entry. So this is also one of your assessment or exercise that you are going to read, and then you are also going to answer some guide questions, okay, to understand or to hone your understanding about journal entry. So let me start. This journal is written on or last November 18, 2012. I'm really enjoying my reading of Into the River for Mr. Hudson's class. We are just moving through the first 100 pages, and wow, lots of cool stuff happening right now. Jake, the main character, has just moved to a new house by the river in a very rural area. Coming from boys, a pretty large city, it's a shock. Though I've never really lived in the city, can really see why Jake feels the way he does. I don't need to live around entertainment to miss it. My house is way out of the country, and without internet connection, I often feel as though I'm missing out the world around me. The outdoor scenes are really cool and true to nature. There's a stream by Jake's house that's similar or really similar to one I live by. Seeing the description and having my own picture in my head made all the scenes where Jack goes down to the river to reflect or vent or just yell that much more realistic. I've certainly gone out behind the house and skipped some rocks against the water a few times. Again, maybe not as extreme as something Jake would pull, but still very similar. In class, we had a question and answer session about what we'd read so far. Jamie, another student in the class, said Jake had to be easy to write because all teenagers have problems. I agreed at first, but after having some time to think about it, I've changed my mind. In this book, at least the problems seem real. Some of the books we've read about psychic, kids, and stuff like that hasn't really interested me because it seems so fake actually. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this book so far. Can't wait to read more. I hate to go so far ahead, but I may have to spend a few hours with it tonight. I want to make sure I have some well thought out points for our next class discussion. If possible, I'd also like to bring up the argument about Jake being easy to write from last class back up. Not because I'm mad about it, of course, but because I think it doesn't do the another or do the author justice. If you haven't taken it from what I've said so far, I think it's a very, very good book, one worth depending for sure. So here, as you have read this example, so you can really see the 10 step or the 10 tips on preparing a journal entry. So it has the personal response of the author. It also has questions about the text, and then it also contextualize its historical, biographical, and cultural significance. Like the boy Jake came from a city and then suddenly transferred to a countryside. So most likely that is culture or like biographical differences and even like cultural change. Like your culture is like you're a cool city boy, but now you are in a world without internet. So we also have, so here you can really see that the author read the text critically, and even uh, he really used clear and descriptive headings, which is into the river for Mr. Hudson's class. Okay, so it also talks about the summary of the reading, such as like the boy named Jake moved to a new house in a very rural area. So it's like a short summary of the reading, and it's like we really grasp the idea or the main idea of the short story. Okay, so it looks like this 10 tips on preparing a journal entry is really used here, or it's really uh, improvised and even connected here in our example. Okay, so please read and review your lesson, guys, and try also to read your modules to know more about our topic, journal entry or journaling. Okay, so now let's go to the assessment. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you can write your own journal entry about my corona. So I hope that you can really show something significant things or even apply the 10 tips on writing journal entry in this kind of short story. Okay? So thank you so much, guys. Always remember to read and review your lesson and be the best always. See you again. Bye. Please review your lesson and read your topics. Bye.